Hey guys, Mike McFarland here with McFarland Fishing. Listen, today we are going to be throwing this big old chandelier right here. We literally are going to be throwing this big beautiful Alabama rig in heavy grass. Okay guys, we are just starting to get in the north end of this lake. You're going to see this graph begin to fill with grass. In fact, my timing is perfect. It's just now starting to fill in with grass. It will get so thick, it goes from bank to bank all the way to this, basically a foot below the surface. A month ago it was matted. With these cooler nights and things, it is retracting. It does allow us to fish above it just a little bit. Potentially, when it's really matted, it can be very difficult to fish. Later in the day, after we fish this, we're going to talk about some techniques, some homework you can do prior to fishing that really helps in your application and increase your percentages of catching fish from the thick grass. Okay? You can really see now that we're starting to get in. The side scan's completely lit up with grass. The down scan and the 2D are completely filled in all the way to the surface. So pretty much anything we throw around us any direction, less than 1 feet, you're gonna be in the grass, okay? See how thick that is? Again, later on when we talk about the how-to part, we'll explain what we've done to make it more fishable. It's a little one. We on the board already. Now, last week I was catching 2 at a time, all the way up to 5-pounders. I say it's the Alabama rig. Do this right, I'm gonna catch some big fish in this thing before it's over. Here comes one right now. Getting it done in the sun on Thanksgiving Day, baby.
Might be going a little bit too close.
So look at here, look at here. See which one that ate? It ate the middle. Remember we talked about that in the lesson? The middle being different, the middle being white gives them a target. Bam, all over it. Man, let me tell you, that Alabama rig was sure something this morning. And in all this matted grass, you gotta ask yourself, how is that even possible? All right, so listen, I'm gonna make it real simple for you. It's called homework. Getting to know the water. All right, what I did was I made a series of waypoints. The ditches and drains that are amongst this field out here, okay, is the only places that it's clean. All right, so if you look at the graph right here real quick, you'll see that I have a series of 3 waypoints. That's the ditch, that's the clearing. It's only about 10 feet wide. So this is new school. If you happen to be old school, you could do what I'm about to teach you with marker buoys. You could literally drop a series of these marker buoys, as I have here, as waypoints, and you'll achieve the same thing. The idea is to create a line of throw, so that I can throw that Alabama rig efficiently, basically kind of like in the ditches, drains, and canals where it's less grass. And again, the more efficient the bait is going, the better. Oh, big one, big one. Oh, a double, baby. Man, whoa. They're so big I can't even pull them in. Pow, sucker. And that, folks, is what I wanted you to see. Whew! This is what homework will do for you, baby. You get the homework done, add a little bit of hydrilla to the lake. This is the way bass fishing ought to be in the fall. Folks, I already basically have a limit. I think, is that 4 or 5 already?
That's 4.
That's 4. So I'm 1 fish away from a limit in just a matter of a few minutes. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Mwah, mwah. Watch the lesson. This really means a whole lot in how I'm taking fish like this in heavy grass on a big old Alabama rig. Bam. Okay, with that being said, how did we achieve that? Now let's go ahead and take the time. 2 things. I'm going to take you up front just to give you a little idea of how we'd line up from the front with the trolling motor. Then we're going to pull the trolling motor. We're going to use the big engine, and we are going to S our way across this field. And every time that we see an opening of grass, we're going to make a waypoint. So let's do that. Follow me up front here real quickly. On a really nice sunny day, you can look down in the water and you'll actually see the edges on both the right side and the left. You can realize that it's clean in the middle. Come all the way up here to the sonar.
Go ahead.
Utilizing these 3 waypoints for a direction of where to throw. If I'm off too much to the right or left, I'm in that heavy matted grass and the Alabama rig doesn't work. Okay, so everything was made at the console. All the waypoints were done at the console, shared to the front, followed with the trolling motor, and fished accordingly. Now let's go show you how we make them. Oh. Oh. I think we're catching them, boys. I don't even think I need to throw the other 3 baits. I can catch them on the underspins. That's really what that is, okay? But I'm going to absolutely destroy them on this Alabama rig. A limit in less than half an hour, folks. Beautiful green specimen. So you can see here on my sonar that this is completely matted grass. It's thick and solid, both the sonar 2D and the downscan imaging. Okay, as we come across this field, here we go. We're now kind of beginning to have an opening, all right? If it really seems to be a wide enough opening, I'm gonna make a waypoint of that opening, all right? In this case, it may or may not be, but for the sake of the lesson, we're gonna go ahead and do it. So I'm gonna put the cursor now right in the middle of that opening and hit mark, hit twice, okay? I will now flip a U-turn and go 20 yards south of where I just came through and do it again. All right, if I see that same opening again, eventually this is going to create a series of waypoints that potentially will give me that ditch, drain, or canal, whatever you want to call it. It's the way these fish migrate up and in and out, in and out. It'll be interesting to see if this opens up again. In some cases, some of these ditches are only 20 yards long. Some cases it may be just a little pocket, like the half a basketball court. That's what that might have been, was just a little pocket. It's not reopening. You can see the bottom contour in here changing, but there's the opening. Here comes that opening again. The uniqueness stuff will be here in just a minute to see how open that really may or may not be. We got a lot of grass still tall in it, but it is thinner. So I'm still going to go ahead and mark it. again, for the sake of the lesson, we're gonna turn around, another S turn. You can kind of see my wake back here. I'm going at about 20-yard intervals. When you're doing this kind of work and you're in this heavy grass, always pay attention to several things. Your engine's cutting through that grass, so you can overheat. Just pay attention, make sure that you are getting your water pressure that you need, etc., etc. And just because I make an S turn and don't see an opening, it's not necessarily a bad thing. The idea was I spent 2 or 3 hours carving out this whole entire field here to come up with 3 or 4 really good locations that were extremely fishable. So there isn't one here now. It's kind of tightened up on us. Boy, we are in heavy, heavy, heavy grass right now. And the boat don't even want to go. So you can still see this bottom contour. We're now 10 feet. What I'm looking to see here make these marks. Now what I want to see is how well do these line up. So we just looked at these 3 marks that I've just made. Do you see how none of them line up? They're just pockets. They're open pockets. The concept of how I made them, going back and forth through the grass, should help you understand how I achieved it. When you look at those 3, man, they're just pockets. Maybe I might punch those pockets or something. I may fish those pockets, but they don't give me the lane like this up here does, okay? And that's ultimately what I want to achieve, is I want to go through this field out here, take whatever time necessary to find any and all clean lanes, ditches, drains, creek beds, etc. that'll allow me to fish that Alabama rig. Looky here on the side scan. Nice opening up here on the side scan. So typically now here I can really expedite some things. If I get this on the upper, now I'm going to put 3 or 4 marks on this one. Okay, I'm going to put the cursor here to the far right and hit mark. I'm going to put the cursor in the middle. Now, this is a quick one. This is helping us out here. This is obviously a long ditch. Another mark, and with a series of 3 waypoints here. Another mark. Now we'll go back to the map. I have just given myself another ditch just in line with where we were fishing. So perfect, okay? This is where the homework pays off. And now what I'm gonna do, forget that the Hummingbird's not touch screen. These pockets over here, I don't even want them anymore. I don't need them anymore. I'm gonna take that waypoint and I'm gonna delete it, okay? Once we delete these waypoints because they were meaningless, all right? When you work a big area, if you'll pan this area here with me, it's huge, right? It's gonna take you 2 or 3 hours or so to do the proper homework. Pan all the way around for them, all the way. Okay, this grass goes from bank to bank all the way across. It's in about 11 feet of water. It's really, really dense, so it does take time to do this. A lot of the waypoints that you make very likely will become useless. Just get rid of them, okay? Again, if they line up, like I'm going to assume where this one is sitting off of this creek, I'm going to leave this one because I got a hunch there's probably another opening over there. For the sake of the homework, we just achieved and added another section that I can fish the next time I come here. Today's fish came, most of the fish came from this back ditch. It's about 50 yards long. Several of the fish did come from this ditch, which is about 100 yards long. And then we just found a new ditch, which is probably, in my guess, about another 60, 70 yards long. But you can see how that all works. And that's how we do it, folks. The Alabama rig, just as I said was going to be the damage, the homework that was done before the day allowed me to throw that so efficiently that there's no other bait out there right now that's going to outfish it. So proof's in the video, proof's in what we caught. Awesome morning. I think I had it all done in less than 35 minutes. I'm Michael McFarland, McFarland Fishing and the Lake Fork Guide. Thanks for watching.